Hello, fairy finders and fairy seekers. Welcome to FaerieQuest and another episode of Ask the Fairies card reading. This one is going to be a question concerning something that's going on in the world right now. So the question that I need to ask is, are the new versions of the illness real or just another fear game? And many people may be asking this also. So we are going to allow the fairies to use the cards to communicate what they have to say about that question. So again, are the new versions of the illness real or just another fear game? All right, so let us split the deck here, and we'll just pull the cards off. So we have the Ace of Swords, we have the Tower, we have the High Priestess, we have the Death card, we have the Three of Swords, we have the Four of Cups, and we have the Seven of Cups. Okay, the Ace of Swords is a card of breakthroughs, and this is a word we seem to hear a lot nowadays, but this card is much more positive than what they're referring to, and it's telling us that we need to pursue the truth of what's going on and to actually find the justice in it all. We need to stand and stay mentally strong in whatever our beliefs are, because the road is going to be challenging. There are ragged mountains here, and the road is going to be challenging, but this is something that we need to do to be able to get through everything that is upcoming. And that's not to say that everything is bad, but there are things obviously going on that we need to stay strong for. Now, we have three major arcana cards here, and that means that what is taking place is kind of divinely destined. So it's not something that can be changed. Individual parts of it could be changed. However, the plan itself, the main divine plan, is going to remain as it is. Okay? So here we have the Tower. And for many, the Tower is kind of a scary card, and it looks as though it's meant to be nothing but disaster. And in a way, that is true. But whatever the disaster is that takes place with this Tower card, it is, whether you believe it or not, or whether it seems like it during the time, it is for your best good. Whatever happens with this Tower is for your best good. When you see this lightning bolt here, it is a zap, a shock, and it takes just one lightning bolt to take this entire tower down. What that is depicting is that there are going to be those who understand, who realize suddenly, and this is a shock, this is a sudden thing, that everything that they have built their life around has been untrue or has been based on falsehoods and mistruths and just outright blatant lying that they have experienced and what they've built their life foundation on. That's why it's so easy to take the tower down, because the foundation wasn't strong to begin with. So this is going to be quite a shock for some of these people to understand that this breakthrough is going to really change how they think. And then we have the High Priestess. And the reason that all this is taking place is based from her. Now, she is the major arcana of so much knowledge, mostly the hidden knowledge, the esoteric knowledge like astrology and numerology and tarot cards and those kinds of things. But she's also keeper of the gate for dark and light. And in this case, what is going on at the current time is a destined thing. The Piscean age is going out. The Aquarian age is coming in. The difference between the two of them is dark and light. There needs to be a balance between dark and light at all times. But through the Piscean age, the dark kind of ruled everything. And now the Aquarian age is coming in, and that is the age of acceptance and the age of balance and harmony and all the really awesome ways a person could live that they probably can't even really imagine at this point. That is what the High Priestess is sharing, is that this is a destined thing. It is why these things are happening. It is why we are asking this question today. So next comes the Death card, and you will find that this one, somebody may have seen this after I asked the question, and you'll hear that because it's the Death card. But the Death card is not what it appears to be. The Death card is an endings card. In other words, not necessarily the end of life. In fact, it rarely in the tarot depicts end of life. What it does show are the endings of, say, major phases in life, okay? Things that no longer serve you will be lost to you, or you will just discard because they are no longer needed. You have to do that if you want to open a new path for yourself. So as the old adage goes, when one door closes, another opens. And that is what death is about. It is about allowing yourself new opportunities by getting rid of the old things. This too is a part of the destined plan, and being next to the tower, this is something that all of us have no choice but to experience. We are caught up in all this change, and we can't escape the effects of it. We can't escape the shock that some of these people are going to have. We can't stop believing in the truth and injustice. We can't. And I don't mean injustice, I mean justice. This is so very important. We are caught up in this, and it's absolutely necessary we stand and hold our ground. Here we have the Three of Hearts. And this is a emotional pain card. And as you can see, there are lots of clouds and rain going on around this heart. It's been stabbed 3 times by strong swords, and it looks like a horrifying card. But pain goes away. The heart can heal. The pain won't stay any more than the clouds will stay. And unfortunately, this pain is necessary. The hurt is necessary. But it won't be for someone who understands the whole aspect of what is happening here. The plan that is going on. There are reasons why all these things have to take place. Because until everyone understands that life has been built on nothing but lies, and that changes or needs to get changed. Excuse me, that is my chihuahua snoring. This is what happens. And in essence, this is an emotional situation. We are all dealing with, people who have not been shocked enough yet and are still towing the line, so to speak, and not going with the flow. They would remain in the Piscean age because that's what they know, that's what they're comfortable with. But the longer they stay there, the more heartbreak they're going to have. And you will have heartbreak too if they push you out of their life because they feel as though they still have a strong foundation in what they believe is truth, and you are the one being fooled, okay? So the Four of Cups is asking us to shut out what's going on externally, okay? And go internally and listen to your own voice. Not what you hear, all external, not the new versions that we're asking about. Go internally and ask for the truth. The truth is available to you through your own inner searchings. Through your own inner searchings, you'll also gain a lot more clarity. And you might even gain clarity on how to aid others who seem to be stuck in that tower. Many of those who are stuck in the tower are wishing for so many things. Oh, I wish all of my family would follow all the rules. I wish that so-and-so never had to die. I wish that people would just bow down and get what they're supposed to get so that we can all just be together. But this Seven of Cups card is telling you, be careful what you wish for. Some of the wishes can be good ones, but others have very bad outcomes. And such as the snake and the dragon, these things can be very toxic, dangerous, and not at all good for you. So we don't want to spend life on wishes. We need to get the clarity here for handling everything that is happening. Good news here is that this reading is telling us that, we are okay. Change is happening, but it is divine change, okay? And this isn't going to be a shock for anyone who is already privy to some of that hidden knowledge, already understanding a good bit of what has been going on externally for quite some time now. The ones who are going to experience much of this heartbreak and this shock and once all this takes place and they learn that their foundation has crumbled, they may feel like doing absolutely nothing. They may just sit and, if you offer them something, they will turn it down and seem as though they have no interest, because they're still wishing for everything to be as it's always been, and that cannot happen. Change, transformation from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age is inevitable. It's just a very painful crossover. So hopefully that answers the question that we asked in the beginning. It actually went a little bit more in depth, I think, than expected, but it explained why we're back at doing this with the so-called new versions and trying to create and if you notice, the Death card and the Tower card both would be fear cards, right? To some. So that's sharing with us that yes, this is a new situation. It is a new idea that brings more fear, if you wish to read it that way. But there's a lot more to it than just reading in that manner. But that also shares with us a very short answer as to yes, this is definitely a fear situation. So I left the cards sit overnight to see if anything more popped up as I would pass by them, according to just allowing my subconscious to bring anything forth that I thought was necessary before totally ending the reading. And so if anything looks different, that's why. This is the next day. And as I was going by the table where I have my cards set up, I realized that on top of what I already shared, there is a little more that I can share with you, starting with the High Priestess. Again, as we talked about previously, she is showing us the plan. Okay, everything that is going on is due to the divine plan and the change from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age. The new versions that we asked the question about are the catalysts for realization that something's not quite as it should be. Mentally, we're being messed with. We're being told that something out there is going to cause this. Everything that we know is being torn apart, torn down. Everything that we have come to depend upon, we're just being basically thrown out the window. That, for a lot of people, was a sudden shock, right? And as the realization pops forth with, these new versions for some people, they're realizing that, oh my goodness, this is what's been going on here. And they might actually go into a kind of depression in a way. They might realize, too, that they've been offered truth, but they've refused to drink from any of those cups. They've just kind of turned their back on the truth. And now it's starting to really hit home that this is what has happened. And they are now starting to consider taking that truth drink, because the new versions have opened up or really hit something within them that makes them realize that something is just gone awry. Here we are. These are, if you look at those swords and the clouds around them, and the heart is the whole scenario, what started this whole thing. and what is being demanded of us, which can be depicted by those three. The first one, the second one, and what do they call that? The main one is affecting how we react with one another. It is affecting the heart of humanity. It's showing tears and rain. This is a sad card. This is what the main one and the new versions are trying to reduce us to, is this, which is a form of this, right? It would be for us. And the thing of it is, with these, despite all the promises that have been made about everything returning as we once knew it, isn't that kind of a cornucopia of non-truths, emotional games, emotional, let's see, choose cup number 2, what's in that one? Choose cup number 4, what's in that one? None of these are going to offer what it is you think they're going to offer if they're given by those who don't have our best interests in mind. This is a game. So the question that we asked about, are the new versions of the illness real or just another fear game? There's our answer. Here's a game. It is a game. But again, not a bad thing if it has brought realization to some people to realize just how bad this can be. And we can go a lot further into that even with just these cards, but I think this has covered pretty much everything that I feel this reading needs to give, that the fairies have shared a number of different ways to read these cards, and it all comes down to the same thing, is yes, it is a fear game, and a very dangerous and sad one. So don't drink from the cup of lies. All right, I so much appreciate you watching this video, and until next time, there we have it. Take care.